Hello Twin Flames and welcome to the DM to DF reading for Sunday. My name's Liz and this is Guided by Angels. And we're going to bring in the Cwtch Tarot today, words unspoken. So what words are unspoken between you right now? What words do the masculines want to say? And if you would like a personal reading with me, you can email me at guidedbyangelsxo@gmail.com. So thank you, angels. What do the masculines want to say today? Wow. So I've got a card sticking out and these two cards flew out. Okay, so we're going to connect with these first of all. So the first card is, we can make it through all the darkness because we are the light. So what your masculine is really saying to you is, I've been through some darkness. There's been through some dark times on this journey and we can make it through all of that to be together. So your masculine is really saying, I understand and recognize that this journey has been dark for us both. But because we are the light and we are one, we can make it through this. So I feel this is a real kind of message and preview of the darkness becoming over. The darkness over. When I'm connecting with the energy, it's quite funny because the masculines can't express this. You know, this is words unspoken. So when I'm actually trying to read this and channel it, the masculine can't make sense of it. He doesn't know how to tell you that you can make it through. This is a very spiritual message here. He's saying to you, we've been through darkness. It's why we come to find the light. You are the light at the end of the tunnel for me. You are the end game for me. You're everything I want. When we are together, we are the light. We are one. And we can make it through all the triggers, all the challenges, all the struggles, all the obstacles, all the pain and darkness to be together because we are the light. That's what he wants to say to you. Now he's struggling because when I'm trying to get it out before I just channels it that way, he can't get the words out. That's why they're unspoken. This is how he feels. He wants to say to you, Divine Feminine, we can make it through. We can get through all of this. We can get through this. We can do it together because we are one, because we are the light, because we are a team. We can make it through the darkness, but we have to remain in the light. So in other words, what he's saying to you is he's trying to find the words to explain what he's been going through, what he's been feeling, what he's been experiencing. And all he knows for sure is that you are the light. And when you are together, he feels that way. He feels powerful. And this really resonates with the message I did yesterday where the masculine is saying, you give me the power. You help me to feel like I can do anything. You make me feel invincible, Divine Feminine. With you by my side, I can do anything. I can get through all the darkness. Anything that comes at me, I can handle it because of our love. Because we are the light. So this is the masculine becoming very aware that there is a mission between you. That there is a spiritual reason that you've been brought together. For we are the light. That's a very spiritual and very spiritually based word. You know, it's the way he's saying it. Again, I'm connecting with his confusion because he feels like he isn't as spiritually connected as you, or spiritually tuned in as you. So sometimes he can't get the words out the way he wants to. He knows what he wants to say, but he doesn't know how to say it, and that's why it's unspoken. But what he's really saying is we can get through this together. We can make it through anything that's dark in our lives when we are together because we are the light. So there's always darkness. We just learn how to shine brighter. It's as simple as that. And the masculine is saying to you, I know I messed things up. I'm working on myself before I come back to put things right. So he's saying to you, I know I messed it up. I know I messed things up. I know I said things that I shouldn't have said. I know I've repressed my emotions. I know I've hurt you. I know I've gone the wrong way around this, even though all the wrongs lead to a right. And he said, I'm working on myself before I come back to you, before I put things right between us, before I make it right between us. Because together, we are the light. And we can make it through everything, all the darkness, all the stress, all the mess, all the things I've done. I know that we can make it right because we are the light. So what he's really saying to you is, I know I've messed it up. So what I'm really connecting with here is this is what he wants to say to you. The unspoken words from his lower self, his ego, his 3D self. I know I messed up. I know I've made a fool of myself. I know I've hurt you. I'm sorry for the things I've done. And I am working on myself right now very powerfully so I'm able to be the right kind of person for you. I'm working on myself before I come back. So if you're thinking, why hasn't he come back yet? Why is it taking time? He's working on himself right now so he can put things right, because he doesn't want to mess it up again. He doesn't want to hurt you again and hurt himself, because when he hurts you, he hurts himself. And his higher self, his 5D self, his spiritual self is saying, we can make it through all the darkness, for we are the light. And this is the part of him he struggles with expressing. He knows full well he's messed things up with you, and he's working on himself before he comes back to put things right. And he may have even expressed that to you in some way, whether it's been through his own words or in a message through a song or in some other way. But what he struggles to say is we can make it through all this darkness because we are the light. Because sometimes he struggles to see himself in that way. Sometimes he's in that much darkness he can't see that he is the light. All he sees is your light. So he's struggling with expressing that to you. And it may come out as confusing words, or it may not make any sense. And it's really interesting, actually, because the angels blow my mind. They really do. Because before this happens, George actually came, he sent me a message. You know, sometimes when I'm here and he's up there, he'll send me a message, either an email or a text, or just so we're connected. And he sent something to me and it didn't make any sense. So it was like a few sentences. It was something like about a baby, called me a baby or something, but it was something else. It came out weird anyway. And I sent a question mark to him. And he come down and he said, this is what I meant. He said, I think that there was, you know how you use, you type things and then sometimes the phone shifts or changes a word into something else. So it wasn't readable. It didn't make any sense to me when I read it. And he came down and explained himself. So I feel that sometimes things come through from the masculine, whether it's through their energy or even a message they send or some other way, and it doesn't really make any sense. And this is what he's saying. I don't want to come forward until I make sense. I want to make it right. I want to put things right. But before I do, I want to make sure it all makes sense. So then he can actually explain it to you the right way. And then there'll be no misunderstandings, you see. Yeah, he's saying, if I told you I loved you, would you believe me? So he's even saying to you here, if I told you now that I loved you, would you believe me? And you might think, well, I don't know, because you've said it all before, or you've hurt me so much before, or what's happened in the past. So he's also a little bit afraid that because of the things he's done in the past, the way he's messed it up, when he returns to you and tells you he loves you and how he feels and gets all this off his chest and expresses himself, that you won't actually believe it. So he's waiting for the courage to handle that if you reject him. And obviously you're not going to reject him, Divine Feminine, but the masculine doesn't know that. The masculine still gets insecure about being rejected by you, just as much as you get insecure about being rejected by them. So he's saying to you, if I told you I loved you, would you believe me? Ask yourself that question right now. If your masculine knocked on your door right now and said, I love you and I want to be with you, would you believe him? Or would you say, is it too good to be true? Or I don't quite believe that, or why now? Would you question it, or would you accept it with love? And you have to be in the energy to be able to accept it with love, to forgive the past, to let go of the past, and to be operating completely in the moment. So if there's been any darkness, and the darkness could be the pain and the struggle and the mess, there's a way through that. And he's saying to you, we're going to find a way through this together. And I am going to work on me. I already am. So I can come back to put things right, because we are the light. We are the light. So this is definitely about the mission you have together, which again, we spoke about yesterday. The purpose of the connection, the power of the love. We can make it through all the darkness, all the pain, all the struggle, all the obstacles, for we are the light. And you are guided by source. That's the light coming to you from heaven. So if he tells you he loves you, believe him, because he means it. He's saying, I know I messed it up before. I know I've hurt you and, offered myself to you and then maybe run away or hid or not followed through. But now I'm working on myself so I can come back in the right energy. And he knew that the reason he pulled away or ghosted or blocked you was because he needed to work on himself in that way before he could come back to put things right. But he's getting closer and closer to this because he's in alignment with his higher self as well as his lower self. And he's listening to his higher self. He's saying, I know now that we can make it through this because we are the light. So part of him is realizing who he truly is, who he is inside as a soul and a spiritual being having this human experience. And that's what he's connecting with today. So don't worry if the words don't make sense or you may not understand, or there could be a typo, there could be some easy resolve to what he said and done. And we know that's an apology or in making the move and coming forward. But he's gathering the strength and courage to do that. But what I'm really picking up on is, if something doesn't make sense to you, try and rise up and see it in a higher way. Don't get triggered by it or try and make sense of it. Just try and see it in a higher way. Because there could be something as simple as a typo or the phone changing something without him realising. Or he just can't get the words out yet because his higher self and his 3D self is still aligning. And that's what he wants you to know. I hope this helps. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.